You know, you can deal with insurance, you can deal with finding this disappeared Lamborghini Aventador, but I need my money back. So over the years of working toward those Lamborghinis and going through the numerous deals, a couple of which went really well and a couple of which went really bad, it was time to continue the hunt, look for the next step up, which of course would be the V12 Lamborghini, going from the beautiful 5.0s. I mean, those are fantastic engines, first gen, beautiful sounding car, even the second gen, 5.2, a little more power, you lose some of the sound, but gyros are great. But it was about time for a V12. And Murciélagos and Aventadors, love them both. Murciélagos would probably have a softer spot in our, we really like those because those were our era of dreaming and those were the poster cars. But regardless, we were kind of open to both. And it just so happened that a unbelievable deal came across our way on an Aventador. And not just any Aventador, not just an early 2012 for cheap. This was like a 2016 Pirelli edition, yellow, black interior with all the red bits for the Pirelli edition. I mean, this was like as good as it gets in the way of Aventadors, minus the SVs and a couple other editions, but this was like one of our dream Aventadors. So the deal came across from a buddy of mine who I purchased a previous car from. We bought one of our Ferraris from the guy, and he does a lot of financial advising work in the Midwest. So he's got a lot of clients with some deep pockets and big car collections. So he was telling me about this one guy in particular who's got an insane collection of Lamborghinis, Ferraris, all the exotics you could want. And he mentioned how he has this Pirelli edition Aventador. This was when I was buying his Ferrari a few months back. And I'm like, wow, you know, that's super cool. You know, keep me posted if any deals come up. So after I bought the Ferrari a few months later, he calls me up one day and he's like, hey, I got a deal for you. That Pirelli edition Aventador, remember that? I said, yeah, you told me about it. He's like, well, the owner ended up, I think, hitting a deer or something in the road. So it got the hood bent up and it cracked the front bumper. He doesn't want it anymore. He doesn't want to deal with fixing it, insurance. You know how that can take months for parts that come from Italy. He didn't want to deal with the hassle. He wanted to just go out and buy a new SVJ. So after hitting the deer or whatever in the road, he took it to the shop to get the estimate done, and it really shouldn't have been anywhere near a total loss. I mean, just those two parts, but who knows if the fenders got a little out of whack. Just anything when you're talking Aventador gets spendy really, really quick. And he didn't really want the car, so he kind of pushed for it to be just totaled out. And from there, he would get paid out an amount in the mid-2s, which is low for that car. But again, he doesn't really care about the money. So it's a little low for what the car's worth, but he would just take the money and move on to his SVJ that he wanted. But at that point, it would present a buyback opportunity that I don't even know if he knew about, but I told him, I'm like, hey, you can buy the car back from insurance and then just retain the title and sell it to us. And he's like, cool, I'll ask him for the number. The buyback was the unbelievable amount of $159,500. I have the exact email from the adjuster. And I told him, go, jump on that now. Tell him you'll take it back and sell it to us. He's like, cool, like you guys can have it. I don't want it. I'm getting your 160 plus my 90 is the difference. Makes my 250 or 260. I think we sold a couple cars. We came up with that, sold some inventory from our business just to come up with this cash, and we had to come up with it quick. We didn't want anyone else getting this deal. So he's a happy camper, he's whole. We're excited because we can get this car, we can fix it for way, way less than the estimate shows, you know, and make it cool and build it up on the channel. It would be a perfect build. So it wasn't like too good to be true. It was still plausible. Everything was adding up. Insurance was involved. I was talking to the adjuster. Everyone was, you know, intermingled together, and I was in the loop. So it all sounded good until it went bad. So we are prepping our truck that we just bought. I bought a truck to use as a tow vehicle, and we were going to rent our buddy's trailer. And literally the day we were going to head out to go pick up this car, he hits me up and he's like, hey, my buddy just bought a 488 from Arizona, where we live, Scottsdale, Arizona, and he's having it shipped up here to the Midwest in Nebraska. And the transport truck will be going back empty. So you may be able to work a smoke and deal with the transport guy and have him bring it back since he's going home empty. We said, okay, like this could work out. Sure, save us the trip. It would be like a 20-hour drive or 16-hour drive, picking it up ourselves. So we said, let's message this transport guy. He's insured, licensed, and all this stuff, so it seems legit. We message him and he's like, I'll give it to you for like half price, $700 to take the car back. So we said, perfect. This is great. He went up there to deliver the 488. He got that dropped off, and he says, he's giving me updates this entire way. I'm in Kansas, about to drop off the 488. I'll pick it up. I'll, let you know when I pick it up. So next day goes by. He's in Nebraska, dropped off the 488. He picked up the Aventador, let us know, hey, I picked up the Aventador. Give me about 2 or 3 days to get back to Scottsdale, and I'll have it dropped off for you. I said, perfect. Here's our warehouse address. Give us a call in the morning when you are going to be there, and we will meet you at the warehouse and we'll unload it. So he sends us updates. I'm in Texas. I'm in Amarillo. I'm in Albuquerque. I'll be there in the morning. And this was on a Saturday, I think. And he was texting me on the Friday that I'll be there Saturday morning. So we said, perfect. We'll be ready for you. So we wait for his text in the morning. There's nothing. Nothing comes. A little later in the day, I'm like, where are you at? You said you'd be here in the morning. Gets to the evening now. I'm like freaking out. Like, he's not talking to us anymore. This is getting fishy. And he finally texts back. He says, hey, did you get the car? I'm like, what do you mean, did I get the car? I told you to call me and you were going to drop it off at our warehouse. He's like, oh no, I dropped it off at a lot. I'm like, what lot are you talking about? He's like, oh, one in like Tucson, Arizona. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So I called the guy who we bought it from, and he's like, this is really weird. Like, I don't know why he was given that address. I don't know why he took it there. Let me try to do some digging. So we finally figure out the lot that he dropped it off at. It was like some Mannheim storage lot. And I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he normally drops off cars there. Maybe he transports a lot of their stuff and just took it there out of habit. I have no idea. So Monday morning comes around. I call that lot. I ask to speak with the manager. I look up his name on Google, find the manager's name. I'm like, hey, is he available? He gets on the call and I say, hi, there was a yellow Pirelli Edition Lamborghini dropped off at your facility this weekend, Saturday or Sunday. And he says, no, like we didn't. I would know if we got a Lamborghini. We did not get a Lamborghini. I said, no, you got to check again. Maybe it's somewhere in the lot. Like you'll see it. It's got a bunch of extra parts with it, He's like, I assure you, we received no Lamborghini. And when he said that my heart just sank, and I am just like freaking out, my brother and I at this point. So I immediately hop back on the phone with the guy who we were buying it from, and his buddy, the rich guy in the Midwest, and they're trying to piece things together. I'm trying to piece things together. Right now, no one has any idea where the car is. It could be in Mexico. It could be on a shipping container somewhere around the world. No one has any idea. So as the time goes on, these next couple of days, I'm like frantically calling and texting this truck driver. No response from him. Won't pick up my calls. Won't return my text messages. The last word I heard from him is that this lot that I dropped it off at. At this point, I already told all of our subscribers, like the car was done deal. Like it was sold. It was coming on a truck. So we're like, guys, subscribers, we are picking up this new V12, like a V12 Italian sports car. That's what I hinted to him at. And everyone knows it's an Aventador because we've been, looking for the V12 Lamborghini. So everyone's so excited for this thing to come. And I was too. Literally, this is like dreams come true. And the car disappears. And the car getting lost wasn't a huge concern immediately for us, and like filing a claim with our insurance, because they made it very clear, that if the car did not turn up, they would take care of it. They would deal with that, and they would get us our money back, number one. So that was a little reassurance there. So luckily we didn't have to go down that route. A few days later go by. It's like the next week now, and still no word on the car. My brother and I are frantically looking for it in Arizona. We literally drove to Lamborghini Scottsdale just in case it got dropped off there. We were about to drive down to the lot. We paid a subscriber to go drive over to the lot to go look around for it. Like, we are desperately looking for this car, and still no sight of it. So it's the next week now. I just say, like, that's a lot of money. I need it back. I have to give up on it. He's like, okay, I'll send it back. Day goes by, like, no money. And I'm like, did we just get screwed out of hundreds of thousands of dollars? And another day goes by, no money. Like the third day, he sends back like $30,000. And I'm like, okay, that's a start, but that's far from what you owe us. And I'm like, hey, like, that's not the whole amount. And he's like, oh, like, I don't know, banks, they cap it sometimes and this and that. I'm like, I don't know about that. So then the next day, or maybe the next week, we get like another 100,000. I'm like, okay, like, we're getting there, but we're still not there. So it was just a big hassle. But finally, finally we got our money back after I pressed them about, like, you really need to get this fixed. You know, you can deal with insurance, you can deal with finding this disappeared Lamborghini Aventador, but I need my money back. Did we dodge a bullet? Was this car even there in the first place? We saw pictures of it. Like, we talked to the insurance adjusters about it. Like, everything is adding up, except once the car left the facility and came to Arizona. Maybe we should have picked it up ourselves with the truck so we wouldn't be dealing with shippers. I don't know what we should have done differently. Should have flown out there in person to go pick it up. Again, lesson learned. Another Lambo deals that goes south. We're taking all these learning lessons and turning them into the next deals. That's the big thing. You can learn off your mistakes. We're a big, we believe in that fully. And this was, luckily, we didn't lose any money, so it wasn't a huge mistake there, but it was a big learning experience. This all unfolded very recently, so this was perfect timing. I may still get an update that they found the car and they're looking to sell it. At that point, if it's in the condition that it was, we'd probably still buy it. But if it's got the engine missing and other parts missing, that won't happen. And also, I remember just yesterday, I was looking on eBay for, keeping an eye on Pirelli Edition Aventador, see if I see anything. I didn't find any cars or anything, but I found the bumper, the cracked bumper off the car for sale on eBay. The weirdest thing ever. So a piece of the car has found its way to eBay, but not the whole car, and still nobody knows where the whole car is. So I don't know. Did it get parted out at a chop shop? Is it in Mexico? Is it around the world? No one knows where the car is right now. We're just still trying to find it. And yeah, probably this is by far the craziest deal that has ever gone down. And it just happens to be on our most expensive, the craziest car we would have ever bought. So it really is unfortunate that it didn't pan out. We really wanted it, but who knows? Maybe it was a blessing in disguise.
True negotiation starts with finding the right car, and the best way to do that is with Autotempest.com. Autotempest allows you to compare the results from Craigslist nationally with all the top listing sites. So visit Autotempest.com today and see where your next dream car is hiding.